In this demo, we're going to get data from SQL Server, uh, encrypt the data, and send it to Azure Service Bus. And then we're going to create another orchestration that will receive the data from the service bus, then decrypt the data, and then populate a MySQL and SQL Server. So let's start. So first we'll have the a start, and then a SQL source, and then an encryptor, and then an Azure Service Bus sender, and then the end node. So for the SQL Server, we'll specify the connection string to the source database. So the source database is the Northwind database, and we'll query from the products. Then we'll encrypt the JSON output from the SQL Server database using AES 256 bit encryption, symmetric encryption. And then we'll connect to the service bus, and specify the test. So first, let's have a look at the source. What's in the source? So we'll open up the SQL client, okay. So let's open up the create a query to the products. Uh, okay, so this is the products table from the Northwind database, and then let's look at the Azure Service Bus. So this is the test queue. Let's have a look at what's in the queue. Okay, so there's uh, no data in the queue at the moment. So we'll proceed with the orchestration. I'll save this as SQL source, SQL source to Azure Service Bus. I'll proceed with this, so I'll save that and then play it. Okay, so it looks like it's successful. We can look at the data generated by the node. So this is the output from the products query. This is the output from the encryption and service bus. So let's have a look at the Azure Service Bus. So we have this data here, and as you can see, it's got an encrypted payload. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll run this in production or in the server, and but first we'll put a timer in front of it so it runs periodically. Uh, and for this one, we'll use the cron scheduler. So the cron scheduler allows you to specify uh, cron expression. So we'll say every 10 seconds it's going to uh, fire a trigger to um, run the orchestration. So we'll save that and then we'll deploy that to any of the servers available. So let's refresh this until it's picked up by one of the servers. So let's pick up by one of the server, and let's look at the logs. Okay, so there's one data flowing now, and let's see. Yeah, it's successful. So let's see how many runs it has done so far. Okay, so far it's only run one time. Uh, no, so I think it runs every 10 minutes, not 10 seconds, sorry. So this is 10 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll deploy it. I'll undeploy it because it's going to be a long wait for this demo if we wait for 10 minutes. Let's change the period to run every 1 minute. Or better yet, we'll just replace it with a timer. So it's got a finer resolution. So let's run it 10 seconds. So this one, the interval is in milliseconds. So we'll run it every 10 seconds. Let's save that and deploy it again. Okay, it's now active. Let's see the logs. Okay, so there's no trigger yet. Okay, so it started processing it, and we got data flowing to Azure Service Bus. So this one here, and it's finished. So okay, so what we'll do next is we'll create another orchestration, and in this particular orchestration, what we'll do is we're gonna pick up data from Azure Service Bus. So we'll have a look. We'll take the Service Bus receiver and then send it to SQL Server and MySQL. So it's some sort of a replication or multi-node, and then we'll stop there. Okay, so the service bus receiver will be tied to a timer as well. So the timer will check but for this particular development, we'll just say that we'll run it one time. So this is a service bus, Azure Service Bus to MSSQL and MySQL. So let's configure the service bus. The MySQL sender, we're going to put it into the replication database in MySQL to a table called products, and we won't be doing any retries when it fails. For the SQL Server, we're going to put it into the replicated database, and to a table called products, and we won't be putting any retries in there. So I'll save this and then run it. First, we'll have a look at the destination databases, the MySQL and the SQL Server. Okay, so there's data in the products table. So what I'll do is I'll delete that. Uh, and then we'll run select star from product. Okay, so there's no data in there in the replicated database. We also have a connection to MySQL here, so this is MySQL, and then we'll have look at the products table. Okay, so it looks like there's data in there. So what will this? Will delete data. Okay, so let's select that again. There's no more records in there. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll run the orchestration, play the orchestration to test if it's good. Okay, so it looks like there's an error in both the database. So, oh, looks like we failed to put the crypt. So because the data is encrypted, so we can't upload that data by default. So we'll have to decrypt that first. So okay, so we'll set the decryption key and uh, run it again. Hopefully this time it'll go through. Okay, so let's have a look. So the service bus receiver has received an encrypted data, and the AS256 decryptor decrypted that data and converted it to a raw JSON string, and that got inserted to the SQL server and MySQL. So let's have a look at the data in the destination databases. So we'll have a look. Yep, there's data in the MySQL database, and there's data in the SQL Server database. So what we'll do is we'll count the records instead, because we're going to be uh, um, running that with a timer. So there's 77 records in there. And okay, so there's 77 records in both databases. Now what we'll do is we'll deploy that orchestration in production. So we'll have a constant flow of data. But first, what I'll do is I'll put a timer in front of the service bus to trigger the orchestration at a period of every 10 seconds. So same number of period as the other orchestration that is sending data to the service bus. Okay, now I'll save that and deploy that to the server. So uh, okay, so this is the one. So we'll deploy that. So we now have two orchestrations running. And let's have a look at the logs. So the Azure Service Bus to MSQL Server has kicked in, and let's have a look. And it looks like it's finished. So there's one finished orchestration there. So after another 10 seconds, there should be another orchestration instance that is going to be executed. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3. So there should be uh, several hundreds of records in the database. So we'll check that. So this is for the replication database in the MySQL. So we'll run that. So there's 770 records in there now. Uh, Now it's 847. So we'll look at the other database. Okay. Okay. So there's 934 in both databases. So that's the end of the demo. I hope you enjoyed this demo. Thank you very much.